Hey, what's up, everybody? This is your boy Kenny, and this is Triangle Season 3, Episode 25, and the name of this episode is Judas Kiss. Man, this was a really good episode, y'all. Like, shout out to the Triangle family because you guys really delivered. I mean, cast and crew, you guys were on point. I love this episode. It was really good. It was somewhat of a filler episode, but a lot of developments happened in this episode, and I can't wait to see what happens next. But first, let me shout out everybody. Happy Pride, everyone. I'm up here rocking my beads, representing. Also, for those who are new, subscribe to brtbtv.com. You don't know what you're missing because this season 3 is explosive, it's entertaining, and it literally has me at the edge of my seat every episode. So, yes, subscribe to brtbtv.com. Even if you're not new, and if you haven't done so, do it right now. And also subscribe to the Triangle Fan Club on Facebook. You get everything. Triangle. You get interesting discussions. You get updates on when the next episodes are coming out. I mean, you get everything Triangle on the Triangle Fan Club. So shout out to the Triangle Fan Club. So yes, subscribe to brtbtv.com and subscribe to the Triangle Fan Club right now. But man, let me get into this episode, and I'm going to try my best not to make this long, but a lot happened. So bear with me, y'all, because I'm still trying to conceptualize how to actually put this together. I mean, I can actually say, shout out to the cast and crew of Triangle, because the way that they are designing these episodes, it is literally making it even more challenging for me. So I love it, and I'm all here for that. So let me get started. First, I'm going to talk about what happened in the beginning involving Derek, Jabrill, and Christian. We actually know from the last episode that Jabrill and Derek ended up, kissing, and as we're seeing the next morning after. Well, we're looking at the morning after, and they had sex. Well, you can tell in Derek's face there's a lot of regret and a lot of, just kind of, emotion, what the fuck did I just do type shit. And Jabrill is just comfortable in it because, hey, he just got him some ass, so he's good. Next thing you know, we hear a knock on the door. It's Christian. Christian has showed up, with some free breakfast and everything for Derek. He makes Jabrill go into the bathroom. He opens the door for Christian, and he pretty much tells this lie to Christian that he has to go to work and everything, so he's not going to be able to invite him in and actually have breakfast with him. But he can definitely tell that Derek can't lie. So he knows that Derek's lying, and he knows that somebody's in there. He just doesn't know who at the time. So Christian's like, okay, here's the breakfast, and I guess I'll catch up with you later. But you can see in Christian's face, Christian is mad because he knows somebody's up in there. Then after Christian leaves, Jabrill is like, you could never lie very well. Lying is not one of your strong suits. And Derek was like, well, unlike you, I don't have that gift, because you're definitely a damn good liar, because hell, he lied to fucking Derek for a whole fucking year and come to find out that he was with Brandon. So yeah, we know that Jabrill can lie his ass off. But, we see that Jabrill is still trying to be forceful with it, but Derek is kind of pulling away. He's like, oh, you're not ready now? Oh, okay, I understand. I'll holler at you later. I'm like, Jabrill, you're getting really too fucking cocky, and that shit's gonna come back to bite you. But let me keep going. Then we see later on that Derek and Christian do meet up with each other, and Christian is pissed, and he's saying that, look, I thought, I got myself involved with you because you said you weren't attached. But obviously you are attached. He's like, well, no, I'm not attached. Let's just say I just had a moment. And he says that, first of all, I don't like it when I'm being lied to because I knew somebody was at your apartment. And he was like, yeah, it is. And he said, but then again, I shouldn't have showed up unannounced. You know what they say, you show up unannounced, don't be mad at what you see. But within that conversation, he was, Derek is pretty much saying that, look, what happened was a moment I needed closure, and that person that I was with provided that closure for me. So immediately Christian knew what was up. So he's like, oh, so Jabrill was the one you needed closure from. Oh, okay, I'm going to handle this shit. You just told me everything I needed to know. So now Derek is like feeling like crap because he's like, he thinks that as of right now he lost Christian because, I mean, but come on, Derek. Here it is, you have a guy who's really into you, who wants to make you a choice, and yet you fell for the guy that's always made you an option. And that's the sad thing about Derek, is that Derek in every relationship was an option. He was never the choice. In this situation, Christian wants to make him a choice. But again, Derek still has these unresolved issues and still has this deep feelings that he probably still has for Jabrill, and he let that take over him. So now Derek is feeling like remorseful that he just put himself into some more shit. So we see that Christian confronts Jabrill, and he pretty much says that, you know, I want to talk to you about Brandon. And he's like, okay, what you want to talk about? And he said that, look, are you cheating on Brandon? And he's like, well, yeah, but I don't understand. What does that have to do with you? And he said that, look, I backed off on you because I respected your marriage, and I respected the fact that you were happy in your new life with Brandon. So I held myself back, and me working with you was not a way for me to get with you. It's because I know your passion is music, and I wanted to work with someone of your caliber because I know that you... that you not only have a strong business sense, but also because you love music. But then he's like, but this is crazy. Like, you know, I would have never suspected you would be the type of person that would cheat on your husband and be dating two people at one time. And pretty much Jabrill says, like, look, you know. And then he pretty much says that, look, you know, the reason why I held myself back was because I still love you. I still got feelings for you. But I chose not to act on those feelings. And Jabrill just pretty much let him know that, look, you know, what we had was good. It was great. You know, I was a different person back then. You don't even know the person that's sitting right before you. I have done a lot of things that some of them I regret, some of them I don't. But at the end of the day, you're too good for me. You know, I don't deserve a guy like you. But I need to get back to work, so if you don't mind. And Julie and Christian shut that shit down. He's like, nigga, don't dismiss me. You know, at the end of the day, it's all kind of coming together. Like, here it is, you told me to stay away from Derek. Why? It's because you really want Derek for yourself? And then Jabrill said the one thing that he should not have said. And he's like, oh, you mad that it was him and it wasn't you? So that is, I think that comment right there officially broke Christian. Because Christian was like, I'm sorry I ever loved you. I'm sorry I ever cared. I'm sorry I ever prayed for you. I'm sorry that I ever hoped that anything was going to happen with us again. You know, I'm just sorry that I even cared and that you turned out to be the asshole that I can't stand. And all of a sudden Jabrill's like, you done? And Christian was like, yeah, we're done with everything. So you done made an enemy out of Christian, and I'm waiting to see what's going to happen next with that, because that's going to be an eye-opener. Then we get one of the killer scenes of the episode with, you know, involving Clint, Kiko, and Sean. Sean calls Clint over because he's saying that we need to renegotiate this deal, this whole 60-40 shit, because I need to make more money. I'm trying to get up out of Easton. And he said that, look, that 60-40 is written in stone. That shit ain't going to change. But what I could do is get you more clients. And he's like, and then like, Sean is like, what do you mean? You're like, I'm one of your top makers out here. He's like, yeah, boo-boo, but you need to understand something. You're an option. Because you kind of got like the little thug thing. That's good for Tuesdays. But then Wednesdays, they probably might want a schoolboy. Thursdays, they probably might want an actual business executive. So You just fit a certain flavor that the clients want, and I make relationships, and, you know, I connect the dots. You're just one of the dots I connected. You're an option, boo-boo. Stop thinking you that bitch, because you're not that bitch. And then the next thing you know, Kiko comes in, and this is at Sean's house, because he lives with his aunt. You know, and now that he's making money, he's no longer living in his aunt's basement. He actually has a room upstairs now, which is kind of real fucked up. But this is the kind of situation Sean is living, where he's only seen as viable. He's only seen, you know, he's only treated well when he has something to offer. So now he's helping the aunt pay the rent. He now got a room, and he now got a room upstairs. He ain't no longer in a basement. So all of a sudden, we see Kiko walks in, and it gets crazy. She's like, what the fuck are you doing here? How do you know him? And it's like, I was like, ah, shit. That was the scene that I was waiting to see, where now now he knows that Kiko and Sean used to be together. He's like, oh, so tell me that you in the heat, pussy. I'm like, Clint, sit your ass down. And then Clint really got nasty and was telling Kiko that, you know, you are the biggest mistake of my life. Everything I hate, I see in you. You disgust me and all this shit. I'm like, Clint, you are going to go straight to fucking hell, because that is your child. And we already see he doesn't like her transition, because he keeps calling Kiko Keith. And she's like, my name is Kiko. And then Sean was defending Kiko. It's like, look, you're not going to disrespect Kiko like that. That's my woman. And it's like, oh, so this is why you tripping? Oh, this is why you trying to get more money so you can leave town with that? And I'm just like, Clint was all kind of disrespectful. And the shit just got crazier after that, because later on, so pretty much after, you know, Clint leaves, and, you know, he's about to get into it with him, you know, him and Sean are about to get into it, you know, because Sean got the damn mirror and was about to crack it over fucking Clint's head, like, yo, get the fuck out of my house. And he's like, all right, I'll leave. And like, Clint leaves, and then Kiko's like, how the fuck did you know my father? He's like, look, I didn't know that was your father, Kiko. He's like, regardless of the fact, how the fuck do you know him? And he says, I work for him. Work with him, doing what? This nigga gonna talk about flipping houses. Really, Sean? You flipping houses, right? Nah, nigga, you the one getting flipped. Let's be real. But that's what he told her, and Kiko ain't falling for it. She says that, look, until you can tell me the truth, the whole truth, we don't have nothing to say to each other. I'm done. So, you know, regardless of the fact that we're still cool, if we're going to remain that, you need to tell me the truth as to what you're doing with my father. And until you're ready to tell me, we ain't got shit to say to each other. But let's just say that she finds out the truth, but she finds it out in an unexpected way, and I'm going to get to that. So we get a scene also with you know, before, you know, Kiko runs into Sean and Clint. Before that, she was at Jabrill's house, and she has a conversation with Jabrill. Jabrill is adamant about that he wants Melanie to keep the baby, and he asks Kiko, can you kind of put that bug in her ear that maybe she should keep it? And Kiko pretty much says that, yeah, I can see that you'll make a great dad, Jabrill. You know, because he said that, look, I wouldn't abandon my child because I know what it's like to be abandoned by my father. So I would never do that to my kid. So we're seeing that Jabrill is like, I'll step up and I'll be a father. So we see that happening. Then we see that Kiko meets up with Jabrill. Jabrill finally comes home, and he's like wondering why the hell Kiko's there. But then she said that, look, me and Mason got into it, and he let me know that, yeah, it's true that Ronnie's alive, and he's known for a whole year, and that Ronnie had JJ. But she lost him. He's like, oh, really? And he was like, yeah, you know, it just seemed to me that, you know, Mason just got a belly full of secrets, and all of a sudden I'm just now finding out about it. But I think that's something you needed to know, that Ronnie had little JJ. So he pretty much holds Kiko and lets her know that, look, make new friends, start a new life. Stop fucking with these people. Like, make new friends. It really used to say that because he don't want to see Kiko no more, because, you know, Kiko was Brandon's best friend. So he's like, you need to make new friends. You know, as far as Mason, you know, like, you know, so he's like, yeah, make new friends. So we actually see that go down. Then afterwards, we get a scene between Jabrill and Jarrell. Well, Jarrell finally confessed to Jabrill that Melanie's back and that Melanie's pregnant. And he's like, yo, you told me you weren't fucking her. What the hell's going on? He said, regardless of the fact, Jabrill, you know, she wants to terminate the pregnancy and I want to keep the baby. And he's like, think about it. You both are living with family. How the fuck you going to provide for a baby? What, you going to do that between smoking blunts and playing video games? And they just got into this explosive argument where pretty much Jarrell was like, look, Jabrill, I'm a grown-ass man, and you will respect me as such. And until you understand that I'm a grown-ass man, you ain't got shit to say to me. And he kind of walked off, and I was like, okay. Because I say at the end of the day, I fuck with Jarrell the most, because Jarrell is probably like the only one that really has his head on straight in this show. I mean, Jarrell had his issues, though. I mean, especially when we first met Jarrell. Jarrell literally had his nose wide open when he first got to Easton. But we've really seen that Jarrell has matured over this time, and he's probably the most sane person, you know, out of the whole crew. So it was great to see that go down. Then we later on see that Jabrill meets up with Fallon, and he lets Fallon know that Ronnie's still alive. And Fallon was like, damn, is it like everybody in Easton is raising up from the dead? And Jabrill was like, what do you mean by that? She's like, don't even worry about it. But, you know, we know that she's talking about Ashton because we saw that in the last episode. So he lets her know that, yeah, Ronnie's alive and that she had little JJ, but she lost him. So Fallon's about to make some calls to kind of get to the bottom of this shit. He's like, oh, no. See, you were the one that caused this in the first place, but I'm going to handle it myself. And then he also let her know that he let Julian go to New York to handle a business meeting on his own. Immediately, Fallon's like, are you sure about that? Do you think he's ready for that kind of responsibility? Because she knows there's some loose screws with Julian that completely Jabrill is either oblivious to or just is not seeing it. Because I have a good feeling that Julian is up in New York fucking some shit up for Jabrill, and I think we might find that out later on. So Fallon is kind of letting me know, like, look, are you sure he can handle that? And he's like, look, he got it innately, you know, he's a Davenport. So yeah, I trust him. He's gonna do fine. I'm like, Jabrill, I think he's gonna come to regret that shit. Trust and believe me. But while they're having this conversation, he's saying that, look, I'm going to find little JJ and I'm going to get to the bottom of this. And Fallon had to let him know, like, do you realize that you're CEO of Davenport Industries? And understanding that it's a publicly traded company, so just like those board of directors got you on, they can also get rid of you. So you need to kind of like get it in your head that you need to be focusing on your position and let someone else handle finding JJ, because you putting all your energy in that, you could actually get yourself outed. So just letting you know, you need to watch your back. And I'm like, Fallon kind of was dropping some subliminals to fucking Jabrill, and at the end of the day, Jabrill in his mind thinks he got everything figured out. Little do you know. But then, yeah, because even in that argument between him and Jarrell had to clock Jabrill's ass. He's like, man, your fucking husband was a damn junkie and was cheating on your ass and all this shit right in front of your fucking face, and you ain't seen nothing. So who the hell are you to tell me how to live my life? I'm like, all right, Jabrill, you got my vote on that one. So that was pretty interesting. Then I'm gonna talk about we finally get to see Troy. So shout out to Ray Potts, you know. We finally get to see Troy back in action. And Troy goes to see Neil. He requested Sean, but Sean pretty much didn't show up to that appointment, so it went to Troy. So Troy was like, yo, I don't know, I mean, yeah, I'm not Sean, but what Sean can do, I can do better. And then like Neil is like, okay, you can stay, but you gotta let me call you Derek. I'm like, okay, this motherfucker then completely went senile. And I'm like, Andre Lyon, you need to go to your psychiatrist and calibrate your motherfucking meds, because you have completely lost your fucking mind. So here it is, he's doing this role play, calling him Derek and shit, and one minute he gets all aggressive, trying to take Troy's ass, and then, you know, when Troy's trying to leave, he's like, you ain't going nowhere, Derek. All you want is my money. That's all you care about, Derek. You're not fucking leaving me again. You're not going no motherfucking way. Yo, Julius Moody, shout out to you, bro, because you have literally delivered in this episode, and you delivered in the last one as well. Like, we are seeing Neil's character go into a different direction. Like, we're really seeing that he has a lot of deep-shitted issues. Because we remember when we first met him in Dark Horse, he was like this clean-cut business professional. We didn't know what he did, but we know the man had money. But while him and Troy are doing this role play, he reveals something about his past. That he was actually raped by his mother's boyfriend, and he was raping him and his brother. We still don't know who this brother is, but I think in time we'll find that out. But he said that when he went to confront his mother about it, his mother slapped him and told him that he was a liar and that he was trying to ruin her life. So his mother abandoned him and left him with his grandmother, so his grandmother pretty much raised him. And he still has all that anger and resentment still feuding up inside of him. So this man has had a traumatic life, and we're seeing it all manifest. And Troy literally had to play his defenses, because he saw that, okay, this motherfucker's crazy. So he's like, I'm going to play like I'm Derek and tell him that, look, I need to go, but I'll be back. I will be back for you. And he even gives Troy some money and tells him, like, and he's like, I love you, Derek. And then Troy's like, I love you too. And I'm like, see, Troy was smart. Troy realized that this motherfucker can probably kill me, so I have to think of something creative to get the fuck out of here, to get away from this psycho motherfucker. Then next when we see, and I'm going to get to the part when Kiko finds out about Sean. We see that Troy is on the phone in front of Kiko's building, and he's talking to no other than Clint. He lets it be known that, look, you're going to pay me for this shit, and I also want to get paid for having to deal with that motherfucking psycho. But I'm going to say exactly what you want me to say, and, you know, I'll let you know when it's done. Next thing you know, we see that Kiko is about to go into an apartment building. Troy walks up in the motherfucker, all like, yeah. And I'm like, Troy, you arrogant motherfucker. But it was so funny, though, because even though he's arrogant as shit, what he was saying to Kiko was some real shit. And because Kiko was like, yo, why the fuck you here? Like, what the hell? And he's saying that, look, you know, I'm here looking for Sean, and I'm not leaving until I get, because Sean owe me money. He's like, what the fuck? You know what? You working with him too? What, you flipping houses and shit? And he's like, nah. Because think about it. If you never would have put out Sean, we would never been put in the position where we had to do to survive. We ain't flipping houses. We flipping dicks. Well, Sean flipping something else, though. I was like, ooh. And like, Kiko got mad as shit. And she was like, you know what? You fucking disgust me. Me and Troy were in a good place before you came here. You came to Easton being a fucking thought and a messy ass slut, and you done nothing but ruin everything. And then Troy kind of let it be known, like, no, boo-boo. That's because last time I checked, you was buying for your boy too, and she's like, yeah, but I didn't take it. She's like, yo, you didn't take it because I didn't give it to you, but your man took it, and he took it really well. And then he's gonna let her know that, look, you up here blaming me for your shit. Maybe if you stepped it up in your relationship, maybe things would have turned out differently. Or better yet, maybe if you would have chose a better man instead of choosing a hoe like Sean, since you calling me a slut, so is your man. So instead of you blaming me, maybe you should have chose better, or you should have stepped your game up in your relationship. And maybe what's going on wouldn't have happened, and Sean wouldn't be out here selling his ass. So yeah, he was like, yeah, me and Sean are out here selling our bodies to get ahead. So now she knows the real deal and what's going on, and she's about to call Mason, but she realized that her and Mason are no longer friends, so now she has nobody to turn to, which is crazy. But then we get the motherfucking scene when Clint goes back to Sean's house. He's all good with the aunt, because, after all, it's because of him working with Clint, he's now able to pay the bills, and he now got his own room. He ain't living in the basement no more. So, because he went from the basement to the penthouse. But Clint goes up in that shit, and he's like, what the fuck you doing here? And he's like, we still got some unfinished business. And he's like, no, our business is done. I'm over this shit. And he's saying that, and the way you was talking to Kiko was mad fucking disrespectful. He's like, what the fuck you say? You talking about Keith? He's like, her name is Kiko. And he's like, and he fucking slapped the shit out of fucking Sean. And was like, look, motherfucker, what I say goes. Now, I will talk about my son the way I want to talk about him. And at the end of the damn day, bitch, you in direct violation. See, you like to have, I need to fucking, retrain your motherfucking ass, because you completely forgot what you were part of. And again, more and more, Sean is beginning to see the dark side of being an escort. See, right now, at first he was thinking it was all good because he was making the money, but at the end of the day, he now realizes he done made a deal with the devil. And Clint is the motherfucking devil. And has no problem saying that. He's like, why the hell are you here? Why are you here? He's like, don't you get it? I go in places I'm not wanted anytime I want to. And ain't shit you can do about it. But this is something you all gonna do. You're gonna pay up for running your motherfucking mouth and talking back to me. So he pretty much pulled out the monster and pretty much says, oh, you gonna suck daddy's dick. And literally fucked the living shit out of Sean's throat and really made him throw up his intestines afterwards. And he says that, this is your fucking lesson to let you know that, I'm the pimp, you the hoe, I'm the man, you the bitch, and you need to you better not fucking forget that shit. And then I have to say, DeMarcus Monroe, fucking amazing, because you really saw him break down, because he realizes that his power as a man is being ripped away from him. And then on top of it, he's still somewhat closeted, and he pretty much videotaped him sucking his dick as insurance that, if you don't play this game, everybody gonna know your business. Kiko gonna know, little did you know, Kiko already knows now, but now she knows because of Troy. So she gonna even furthermore resent Sean now, which is crazy. So now Sean is gonna be literally left on his own. And then he said that, I bet your auntie don't know how you making all this extra money. Now I got insurance. I'll show auntie what you doing to make this money, since, it's dark in the closet. And now that you in the closet, I'm going to make your life a living hell. So I'm like, ooh, damn, the shit that goes down. Now the last thing I'm going to talk about is Mason. Mason first meets up with Jesus. He's mad that Jesus let Jabrill, that Jabrill, he said that, why would you let Jabrill set you up on a date and shit? But he's like, look, we're not together. But he's like, no, but you don't realize that Jabrill is doing this shit to get back at me. You don't know how he really is. You don't know really nothing about him. And they kind of go back and forth. He's like, you know what? I'm getting tired of your bitch assness, and I'm getting tired of you being an asshole. I'm out of here. So he ends up leaving. Then then we see later on that Mason gets a visitor from this guy named Thaddeus Leesburg, aka Lee. And he's played by none other than Tyrone Johnson, and it was good to see him on screen, because Tyrone delivered in this thing, because he had me laughing. His character Lee is kind of reminiscent of like Sheldon Cooper from Big Bang Theory. He's like this very intelligent pseudo computer guy, but he lacks social etiquette. Like, he really doesn't have very good social skills, because he just drops fun facts, and the way he says shit is like, it's sometimes very like off-putting and somewhat rude. And Mason had to clock him on it, because like he was saying that he asked, can he have some water? He's like, do you know that by the time you thirsty, already like 25% of water has left your body? He's like, oh no, I didn't know that. Okay. He's like, okay. And he's like, so pretty much he's there to crack Adonis's laptop. So pretty much what's going on is that he's finally able to open it or whatever, and what they see at first is like porn, thick porn. So we actually realize that Adonis really is into thick boys. When he was saying that Mason was a fat fuck, we know that that was a fucking lie. He really does like big boys, and he was attracted to Mason. And then, we actually see that Leesburg got a thing for thick boys too, because he was kind of flirting with Mason, but he would say shit that would just put Mason off. Like he was saying that, so how did you know the guy? Oh yeah, also he also showed him that he knew everything about Mason. He knew about his company, and he said that your account's low, and you also you're also about to get inspected. But he's like, don't worry, check your account. He's like, yo, don't be fucking with my shit. He's like, no, check your account. He checked his account, and he put $1,000 in his account, and he also pushed back his his inspection date, so therefore he has time to get things together. So he's like, oh, okay, it's interesting. And then he kind of lets him know, and how he knows Ronnie and all that. And he even talks about like how he even cracked the security system when he went to college. So he's like a pseudoscience computer guy. So pretty much what he ends up telling him is that, look, I have to take this home because I have, he's like, I'm the best at this, but I got other tools that I need to use, and they're at home. So he pretty much goes, gets that taken care of, and then when he comes back, he lets it be known that I found a lot of stuff in here, and then he's like, and he actually pulled, and I actually said that this was probably in that damn laptop, and this is how Mason was going to find out the truth about Adonis. And he sure enough pulled out that last email that he sent out, and it was him pretty much explaining everything about Jabrill, about Jabrill, and then he also knows that Jabrill paid him $100,000 to get back into Mason's life, and the whole idea was to break him down, fool him, fuck him, finish him. Y'all remember that, right? So we actually saw that went down, and next thing you know, and then that damn Lee gonna say like, yeah, I can see how a sick man like you can drive a man to madness. I was like, okay, bitch, you gotta go. But I have to say, Ty Johnson, you did a great job, because that was so funny. And Mason's like, look, you gotta go, get out, you need to leave. And so he gave him his card. He's like, look, you can call me day, night, even later night. But I'm thinking he probably will be a tool that he will be used later, so I think we're going to see more of Leesburg. But yes, great fucking scene. And then we also saw that he met up with Jabrill. Jabrill lets him know that he knows about Ronnie being alive, and knows about that she had little JJ, and he said that, look, if you don't want to get involved in this shit, because this is, not only did she take her death, but then, you also frauded the insurance company. So now that all that's put out there, I need you to do something for me. But then like Mason's like, look, I don't want to be involved in any of this shit. I don't even want to know this crap. But it's like, I told her that I didn't want nothing to do with her, and I didn't want nothing to do with this. But he says that, look, if you want to be spared from going down with her, I need you to do this for me. But he says that, look, I'm not going to put her in harm's way. But this is before, Lee came in and showed him the fact that Jabrill was behind the whole thing between him and Adonis. So then he calls back Jesus over, and he lets Jesus know, I want this man dead. I want Jabrill dead. And just had like a serious face, like, no, this motherfucker tried to ruin my life. He has to pay for this shit. Because here it is, I was so grieving, I was so overcome with grief and feeling resent, and then he had enough to blame me for Adonis' death, and the whole time he knew what was really going on. He's like, I'm sick of this son of a bitch. He walks around this town like he is he walks around this town like he can do whatever the fuck he wants to people, and there's no consequences or repercussions. He gonna pay for this shit. And then he told Jesus, if you really love me, you'll do this for me. I'm like, okay, Mason, you messy ass bitch, because you know that he's still in love with you, and you playing on that because you know he'll do what you want him to do. I'm like, all right now, don't play with fucking Jesus, because at the end of the day, you screw over Jesus, Jesus may turn into a monster that you don't want, Mason. So he says, okay, I'll see what I can do. Give me a couple of days. And that's where it ended. That now Mason is now trying to put a hit out on Jabrill. And we're going to see how that's going to turn out. But that's what I got, y'all. If I missed anything, put it down in the comments. I'd love to talk to you about it. But yes, subscribe to my channel. Click that bell so you can get notifications every time I drop a video. Like this video, comment on this video, and share this video. Oh, yes. Shout out to my boy Terrell Ross. You motherfucking delivered. Because there was another thing I did forget when he met up with fucking Jabrill at a bar. And he did tell Jabrill some real truth about being a father. He says that, look, this is a woman you're going to have to be with for the rest of your life. So you need to know, is this something you really want to do? Can you deal with her, you know, in the long run? Because we could tell that Clint was talking about Tammy. He was talking about Fallon. He was talking about Kiko. Little does he know, Jabrill and Kiko are friends now. So that's going to be interesting. And then he proceeds to start hitting on motherfucking Jabrill. And Jabrill was like, yo, I got to go. And I'm like, see, that damn Clint has no motherfucking, he has no motherfucking restraints. But yeah, again, subscribe to my channel. Click the bell so you can get notifications every time I drop a video. Like this video, comment on this video, and share this video. And I will be back with the next episode of Triangle. Y'all, it is lit, and I can't wait to see what happens next. So until then, everybody, take care.